lies midway between the eyes and the horns or ear ridges, and depending on the size of the croc, about an inch or two below eye level. When viewed from side on, with the mouth closed, all crocs have a distinctly visible smile at the corner of their mouths. The brain is situated just above the L-shaped bend in this smile. This is another way to verify the exact position for a side brain shot. The only other option for anchoring a big croc is the forward neck shot, where the skull joins the spinal column. Placed correctly, the shot is as effective as the brain one. Place this shot a few inches beyond the tip of the smile, exactly in the middle of the neck. You will need to compensate your shot when the croc is below eye level. On full frontal or straight going away shots, be sure to place the shot squarely on the midline. As soon as the croc has been anchored, put in a couple of backup shots through both the shoulders and the hips to break the leg bones. This should hopefully stop it from being able to stand up again and escape into the water. Because they are reptiles, crocodiles are notoriously hard to kill. They jerk and squirm around for a long time after apparently being brain dead. They also have the reputation for suddenly coming alive again a few hours later. In my opinion, of all the trophies in Africa, the croc requires the most perfect shot. Remember, you can't track a wounded croc.
Sports Afield is the definitive information source for anybody who has a passion for the outdoors. From wing shooting to African safaris, Sports Afield is jam-packed with gripping adventures and practical information including the best outfitters, hunting destinations, and all the latest gear. Sports Afield. Don't embark on your next adventure without it.
The large antelope of Africa includes giraffe, eland, kudu, sable, waterbuck, wildebeest, gemsbok, hartebeest, and Africa's only wild equine, the zebra. The antelope which make up this group are an interesting mix of both browsers and grazers. The browsers, giraffe, eland, and kudu, are great wanderers. They have neither territory nor home ranges, and as a result, they cover huge distances each day while feeding. Ambushing or tracking are usually the most effective hunting methods for these animals. Grazers, on the other hand, are more territorial, sometimes fiercely so. Finding suitable habitat and then spotting and stalking are the best hunting methods for these species. In terms of rifle, caliber, and bullet selection, what works for any of this group will work for them all. There are two exceptions, giraffe and eland. Both are enormous animals. In fact, they can outweigh a big bull buffalo. Giraffe skin is also thick and incredibly tough. I believe they should also be considered as pachyderms. Caliber and bullet selection for this heavyweight is therefore of vital importance. For giraffe body shots, the 375 H&H should be regarded as a sensible minimum, but with the understanding that bigger will always be better and more effective. Solids are usually the bullet type I recommend for giraffe, especially big bulls. For eland, I like the 375. In my experience, heavy for caliber, premium expanding bullets work best. For the rest of the animals in this group, consider the 270s and quality 130 grainers as the absolute minimum kickoff point. The various 30 calibers and heavier bullets, I believe, are a better option. Which cartridge to choose should depend on the expected shooting distance. If you can handle them, bigger calibers and heavier bullets are always better. For this reason, I really like the 338s and quality 250 grainers. If you can handle the recoil, there is certainly nothing wrong with either the 93s or the 375. An accurate Scope turn bolt is by far the best option for this group, especially as the shooting distances for most of these species can be quite long. The two prominent bulges on the front of a giraffe's chest are its shoulder joints. The bottom half of the heart is at this level, with the top between the shoulder blades. This is very different from all the other antelope in this class. The giraffe heart is also unusually large, so it can pump blood all the way to the head. Giraffe lungs are surprisingly small for such a large-bodied animal. In fact, if you shoot a giraffe low down behind the shoulder, you will have gut shot it. By far the most effective shot for giraffe is a high heart-lung one. From side on, come up the line of the foreleg and place the shot on that line, 6 inches above the level of the shoulder bulge. This shot will hit the shoulder blade and the top half of the heart, which lies beneath. The giraffe brain is small. It lies between the horns and just in front of the ear bases, behind the eyes. Giraffe neck shots are better, especially with expanding bullets. Remember, the vertebra are positioned in the middle of the neck for its entire length. Beware, neck shot giraffe have the nasty habit of falling towards the shooter. Remember this, I've warned you. The deep chest of a big eland bull, with its massive shoulders and thick neck, makes for a confusing sight picture. This often results in heart-lung shots being placed too high. The same can be said for the neck spinal shot. Remember, the eland spinal column actually lies below the neck's midline, where it joins the shoulder. Place a side-on, top of the heart-lung shot on the center line of the front leg, no higher than midway up the body. The shoulder spinal shot, place it higher up on the shoulder, through the scapula. For quartering frontal shots, place the bullet so as to hit and break the shoulder joint. Quartering away shots at eland are more difficult, especially from the left-hand side. This is where the large paunch lies. From the right-hand side, place the bullet so that should it exit, it will do so through the gap between the front legs. There's an aura about the greater kudu, which sets them apart from Africa's other antelope species. Often described as majestic, these spiral-horned antelope evoke a fascination in all of those who pursue them. Perfectly camouflaged by their grey-brown colouring, these elusive antelope are also called Africa's grey ghosts. They are secretive creatures, blessed with exceptional senses, which keep them wary and alert. Good kudu bull are beautiful animals, and a shoulder or a full mount is really the only way to effectively display them. This rules out shots which could ruin the cape or trophy. For a quick, efficient kill, the high heart-lung shot is always the best option. As with all antelope, the top of the kudu heart lies in exactly the center of the vital triangle. The only other shot option is the shoulder spinal one. Place this shot squarely through the center of the shoulder blade for a spectacular and instant result. Compensate accordingly for all angled quartering on shots so that the bullet ends up or passes through the chest cavity. All going away shots at kudu are difficult. When viewed from the rear, even the largest trophy bulls will appear to be narrow and slab-sided. The only option in this situation is a good old Texas hard shot. With the right caliber and bullet combination, this can be an effective option, but one with little room for error. Only consider this as a last resort. Sable are capable of competing with kudu for the honor of being the Dark Continent's most impressive trophy antelope. A mature sable bull is a spectacular and regal looking animal. Many consider a good specimen essential for any African trophy collection. These beautiful antelope have a reputation for being aggressive and potentially dangerous. Do not take the sport hunting of them too lightly. The high shoulder shot from side on is one of the most effective for trophy sable. This will drop him as if lightning struck. The high heart-lung shot is an alternative, and while not as dramatic, the effects will ultimately be effective. The aggressive nature of trophy sable often results in them being shot from the front. From this angle, place this shot squarely in the center of the chest at shoulder joint level. Slightly higher will hit the spine and the bull will drop. Water buck are one of Africa's better known and tougher large antelope species. These stately, shaggy-coated animals have a high water requirement. This explains why they are usually encountered near some form of water. It also gives rise to their common name. A shoulder mount is really the only way to display a good water buck trophy, so as to afford this beautiful antelope the honor and respect it deserves. From side on, forget about neck shots, just in case they ruin the cape. Rather go for a high heart-lung shot, or the shoulder spinal one. Each will be as effective, but with the second option immediately so. In the vast majority of cases, water buck will be hunted when they are out in the open. This will give the hunter time to wait for a good shooting opportunity and to see the effect of his shot. The water buck's long shaggy coat can hide the shoulder and make identifying the vital triangle difficult. If so, take a high heart-lung shot by coming up the front leg. Place the shot just below midway up the body on that line. Vital organs of a mature water buck are large. This provides a good margin for shooting error, but there still may be little reaction to the shot. Do not worry, the water buck will drop. For a quicker reaction, place a shoulder spinal shot through the middle of the shoulder blade. There is less margin for error with this shot, but the result will be instantaneous. If the angles are right, try to break the shoulder joint on a quartering frontal shot. Place a full frontal shot squarely into the center of the chest at the base of the neck. Do not be misled by the wildebeest's nickname, the Fool of the Veld, but they are one of the most difficult and challenging antelope to hunt. Pound for pound, wildebeest are some of the toughest and the most tenacious of all the antelope species. There is always a tendency to shoot too high, especially when wildebeest are standing side on. This is due to the pronounced hump over the shoulders, their long upstanding mane and their beard, all of which can create an optical illusion. This makes the chest appear deeper than it really is. To this, add the fact that the spinal column dips in the shoulder region to a level just below the shoulder midline. Where the neck joins the body, the spine actually lies just below the midline. From side on, never place a shot higher than the horizontal midline. Shots placed too high often hit one of the wildebeest's unusually long spinal processes. This will result in a non-fatal drop to the shot. Be prepared for a long follow-up if the wildebeest recovers and gets away. A wildebeest's heart is large in comparison to its overall body size. From side on, it's positioned low down in the chest cavity, further to the rear than is the case with other antelope. The middle of the heart lies just above the point of the elbow when the front leg is in the normal standing position. To take a side-on high heart-lung shot, come up the back edge of the front leg and shoot between a third and certainly no higher than halfway up the body. This will place the shot about a hand's length above the point of the elbow. A wildebeest shot here will not go far. Place a spinal shot on the front edge of the shoulder, exactly in the middle of the neck where it joins the body. This shot is not as forgiving as the heart-lung one, and I only recommend it for those with considerable hunting experience. When viewed from the front, wildebeest are narrow-chested animals. The mane over the shoulders hump also tends to confuse its outline. When the head is held in the normal walking position, the long, narrow face and muzzle will block out the frontal chest area. But when a wildebeest gets suspicious, its head will come up to expose the chest area. Despite this, the beard may still cover the aiming point. Place this shot low down, squarely into the center of the chest, just below the level of the shoulders. The brain shot is an option for the meat hunter who is able to ambush a wildebeest from close range. In this case, place the shot in the center of the forehead, just above eye level, in line with the base of the ears. In this section I'll cover the hartebeest, but the information also applies to its close cousins, the topie, tsessepie, bontebok and blesbok. None of this clan will ever win an African antelope beauty contest. With long, narrow heads, yellow, goat-like eyes, and sad facial expressions, these are some of the sorriest looking creatures around. Looks can be deceiving. They are the continent's quickest antelope, and their endurance is legendary. These antelope are usually not all that difficult to hunt, nor all that impressive in the trophy department. From side on, the prominent hump of the hartebeest often results in shooting too high. Place the bullet no higher than the body's midline. From side on, the necks of these antelope are just too slender to recommend the neck spinal shot. Being curious, these antelope often stand and stare at the hunter, offering a full frontal shot. Place the shot in the center of the chest. Gemsbok are known as desert warriors, so be warned, they can be aggressive and dangerous when injured or threatened. As a result, these beautiful antelope command respect from both predators and sport hunters. Distinctly marked, the gemsbok is considered by many to be the most handsome of all antelope. They are an open country species and favor low rainfall desert areas. Gemsbok are legendary, not only for their aggression, but also for their toughness. With this in mind, correct first shot placement is everything. Gemsbok are well known for going bloody miles when not well hit with the first shot. The unique body shape of the gemsbok, with its deep neck and chest coupled with its high withers, can make the placement of the first shot both confusing and difficult. There is always a tendency to shoot too high in the chest and neck region. So much so that the standing rule for gemsbok is, never place your shot above the body's horizontal midline. From side on, the vertebrae lie below the midline, where the neck joins the body. From side on, the high heart-lung shot offers the best option for an initial shot. Due to the area's size and large margin for shot placement error. To place this shot, come up the back edge of the front leg, about a third of the way up the body, but no higher than the midline. This shot will find the top of the heart and the middle of the lungs. Always approach a downed gemsbok carefully and from behind. To be sure, I always like to put in a finishing shot. Africa's striped equines, the zebras, are a popular species, and with good reason. Their beautiful skin makes for an impressive addition to any trophy room. Their meat is also important because it makes great bait for lion and leopard. Zebra are also good fun and a challenge to hunt. These efficient grazing animals will always be encountered in butter or overfat condition. With regards to toughness, zebra rank right up there with the best of them. In fact, these solid equines can soak up a bullet's energy like wet newspapers. Large calibers and heavy bullets are most definitely recommended. Being so fat can make identifying the vital triangle from side on just about impossible. Nature is however kind to the sport hunter. A zebra's stripes usually come together to form a star, almost always in the right place for a top of the heart shot. Alternatively, the hunter can use the center line of the front leg when it is in the normal standing position. Come up it and place the shot somewhere between 1/3 and just below halfway up the body on that line. A zebra will take off as if the starting gates have just opened to such a shot. It will not go far, and there will be a good blood sport to follow. Another option from side on is to go for the spine. Place the shot higher up and further forward on the shoulder, through the center of the shoulder blade. The zebra should drop to the shot. A zebra normally holds its head up when suspicious. This exposes the frontal chest area nicely. Place a frontal shot squarely into its center at the base of the neck. For all quartering frontal shots, simply get the angles right. Quartering away shots are a different story. Only consider them when appropriately armed. I consider Africa's medium-sized antelope to be the Inyala, bushbuck, impala, springbok, and warthog. Antelope that graze and browse are known as mixed feeders, and they make up the majority of this group. They are mostly territorial in nature, and this can make them easy to find. Just look for areas of suitable habitat. The hunting of these species will revolve around moving quietly through areas of likely habitat. In thick bush, the shooting distances can be short. Those for springbok, on the other hand, can be up to 300 yards. All animals in this group are light bodied. In fact, none of them weigh more than 275 pounds. For this size of game animal, the 270s or the various 30 calibers are adequate, with appropriate soft-nosed bullets. These species can often be encountered in thick bush, where the shooting distances can be close. When they are, more bullet weight and a lower muzzle velocity are, in my experience, a lot more effective. A low-powered variable scope is the best choice for these close-range conditions. It is important to remember that some of these species will be hunted in areas where dangerous game are also found. Better to be prepared for any occasion. In my opinion, it is far better to be overgunned in country where you may encounter a dangerous game than to have to stop a dugger boy with a 308. Like bushbuck, Inyala favour thick riverine habitat close to permanent water. Mature trophy bulls are usually solitary. They are also territorial, but they tend to be shy and elusive creatures. When encountered in thick bush, they rarely present themselves for perfect shot placement. Therefore, the trophy hunter must take whatever shot presents itself, and quickly. For this simple reason, larger calibers and heavy expanding bullets are recommended. I suggest you always try for a high heart-lung shot, regardless of how the Inyala may be positioned. From whatever angle, place the shot so that the bullet passes through the chest cavity. The pursuit of bushbuck has often been likened to the hunting of America's white-tailed deer. They share many similar traits. As with most African game species, the hunting of these antelope revolves around looking for suitable habitat. Most bushbuck are found in areas of thick riverine vegetation bordering African rivers. Bushbuck are primary nocturnal feeders. During the long dry season, they have a preference for drinking at midday, especially when it's really hot. On cold mornings, they often stand out in the open to sun themselves. In typical bushbuck habitat, shots tend to be short. In some areas, however, like the Eastern Cape area of South Africa, for example, this may not be the case. With regard to shot placement, it's usually a question of taking whatever shot you can get. With the right caliber and bullet combination, these medium-sized antelope can be shot from any angle. Take care, however, not to damage the cape or horns. A good bushbuck can be regarded as a hard-earned and valuable trophy. Treat it with the respect it deserves. From whatever angle, place the shot so that the bullet passes through the chest cavity. In many parts of Africa, impala are known as the bread and butter buck, simply because these antelope most often satisfy the many meat-hungry mouths in an African hunting camp. They are also the preferred bait for leopard. An impala will usually be the first animal a safari client will take. In fact, I believe they are a good indicator of a client's shooting ability. I always like to make sure my safari clients shoot an impala or two before we tackle buffalo, just in case. All this makes impala an essential part of any safari. They are herd animals. Herd size can vary from only a handful to 100 or more. They prefer open, almost barren areas, close to thicker bushveld or mopani scrub. Impala are regular drinkers, never venturing far from water. Impala are medium-sized, 100 to 150 pound antelope. Only the rams have horns. They are skittish herd animals with a tendency to stand all bunched together. When they do, it is easy to get all those heads and bodies confused and to end up shooting the wrong sex, so be careful. While a challenge, it is usually possible to limit all shots to within 150 paces. Impala are easily killed with well-placed top-of-the-heart lung shots and conventional soft-point bullets. Precise shot placement is, however, essential for quick, efficient kills. Despite their dainty looks, these antelope are tough for their size. For the trophy hunter wanting a shoulder mount, the high long shot just behind the shoulder is a good choice. Place this shot above the elbow, where the colored part of the hide changes to a rusty brick orange-brown. For the meat hunter, the next shot is another option.